These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat, emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month. Even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending. 0 tears. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Alaina.
And I'm Ash.
And this is Morbid.
This one's gonna ruin your life. Yay.
Yeah, guys. This one is, it's gonna ruin your life. I'm fairly certain.
Awesome. Yeah, we came up into the pod lab and we were saying like bye to Alaina's mother-in-law, and I was like, bye, like see you in a little bit. And then Alaina was like, you're gonna come downstairs much different.
Yeah,
and
I was like, she's gonna come downstairs mentally scarred for life.
So thanks for that.
So
can't wait for this scarring process.
Yeah, this one's gonna be a doozy, and I might as well just say it right out front. This involves rape, murder, children, just terrible shit.
Everything that you could imagine being wrong with the world is in this story.
I will tell you, I'm gonna give you all the details that I feel are necessary, but if something was gratuitous, it's a child.
Say
I don't
it again.
really gratuitous.
I love it.
If something feels gratuitous, I'm not gonna include it, but you're gonna get a whole picture and you're gonna get details, and they might be uncomfortable details. So I just want to be upfront about that.
You should.
If it's not something you're looking to hear, there is going to be another part to this series. The part 3, I'm going to cover 3 of the murders out of 5 today, because I think 5 will maybe make us all implode. It's a little too much.
No, thank you.
And I'm going to cover the last 2 in the next episode, and we'll cover the aftermath and all that craziness in that episode. So it'll be a little less like 2, in your face part 3. There's going to be 2 that are going to be like really in your face, and then the rest will be a little more
perfect. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
I mean, it's kind of bad all the way around, but
okay.
I'm trying. I'm trying to make it less horrible, but I can't.
Yeah. Well, we have palate cleansers for these episodes, so that's
We do.
good.
We got some palate cleansers.
Wait, is she?
I broke.
It's okay. It's normally me.
And you know what? It's just been a lot of reading books about these two fucking assholes. So
Guys, Alaina had a nightmare last
I
night.
did. I had a nightmare with Ian Brady in it, and it upset me.
When you told me that you had a nightmare, I was like, oh, good. So I'm just going to need like extra therapy this week.
Because I was reading it like far into the night because I was trying to go over like another side of a story, and it just was too close to bedtime, and it just did a number.
You should have watched Hamilton again. Alaina made me and
should've.
Annie watch Hamilton with her last night
really
and the night
should've.
before.
Oh, I really should have. And you loved it, didn't you?
You know what? I fucking did.
I told
And I just
you.
keep singing, "You'll be back
Yep.
like before."
See?
But that's all I can sing without getting sued.
That's it.
Yeah, so I like Hamilton now. I guess that's a new update in our life.
Yeah,
that
that's a
doesn't
new true crime update.
have to do with this. Another update is that the Michaels Halloween section.
Yeah, guys, get on it.
It literally has nothing to do with anything we were just saying, but just to talk about my week.
Yeah, there you go.
I literally bought so much shit from Michaels today to decorate my home for Halloween.
And it just feels good that it's spooky season. It's here, guys.
It's here.
Like pre-October is days away.
Pre-October, for those of you who don't know, is September.
Exactly.
Alaina and I coined September as pre-October. September is like, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, that's not even a thing.
And we're ready. We're going to get a projector this year and watch horror movies in the backyard.
And we're going to try to make it fun for the kids since they won't be able to trick or treat.
Well, yeah, they can come to my house and trick or treat, and
Yeah.
then we'll come back and
Watch
get
Hocus
crazy.
Pocus, and it'll be fun.
Everyone's
Get
like,
crazy.
it's August.
Yeah, don't worry, we're planning, okay?
So let's get into the horrifics of it all.
So yeah, we're gonna get into this. Oh, before I jump right into the case, I just want to mention one last thing. It's very quick. I mentioned all the books that I've been reading for this case last time, and I mispronounced one of the author's names. It's Dr. Alan Keatley. I think I said like Knightley.
Oh.
Because words are hard.
They are.
It's Keatley, though, I believe. I looked it back. I think I like looked at the word and I just found an N in it somewhere, or I just made it sound like
Sometimes
Knightley.
my brain just like reads the next word. Or
But
like,
I just, yeah. But it's a really great book and he's a very good resource and I didn't want to like not say his name right. So yeah, Dr. Alan Keatley, Ian Brady. Read that book. It's great.
Okay.
So the last time we left you, you know, Myra and Ian, we went through their backgrounds. They are together now. They met
just
at,
decided
you know,
they're going to kill children.
and yeah, they've discovered that they're very in sync with their needs and wants. And they've decided, like Ash just said, that they want to rape and kill children together.
And didn't they
most
decide that
couples
as
do.
like pillow talk?
Yeah, basically after their like weird sex that they had.
Good.
Yeah.
Where he just like viciously attacked her face and was like, "Let me clamor my teeth into yours."
Exactly. Yeah. So Ian at this point is 25 years old.
Holy shit, he's literally a year older than me.
Yeah. And Myra was 22.
Wow.
Which puts it into big
That's like
perspective.
so young.
Because you feel it. I don't know why I felt like they were older.
No, I did too.
It's not like these are mature things to do, but like.
Also, I feel like in all the pictures I've seen of them, I'm like, whoa, you're a rough 22, sister.
I mean, they both had. They had a rough go at it. Both
Yeah.
of them. So I mean, they wear it on their faces, both of them. So what we learned was that they have been visiting Saddleworth Moor a lot, and that's where they decided that they wanted to use it as a killing ground, and they wanted to use it as a burial ground because of the vastness and the quiet and the distance away from civilization. Nobody really is there. It's very lonely and desolate.
it's like the perfect spot for them to be
It is.
monsters at.
Well, I found out one extra thing about Saddleworth Moor that I thought was interesting. It has had a lot of like spooky, like weird things happening. And in 1949, 24 people died when a plane crashed on Saddleworth Moor,
Oh shit.
which I had no idea. It was on a flight from Belfast. People did survive it. I think only 8 people survived it.
That's crazy.
One doctor at the scene said, quote, "I found bodies scattered all over the moors. There were a few survivors lying groaning on the hillside, but some of them died before I could attend to them. I have been a doctor since 1914 and served in both wars, but this was the worst sight that I have ever seen."
My God.
So already this place has like serious dark ominous
history.
energy. And we heard from a few of our UK listeners who were like, "I live near those moors," or they're like right next door to me, or they're like right down the street. It's crazy. So like I love hearing that. Like when people were saying that, and I was like, that is fascinating, because you feel like they're not real when we're over here. We're over in the United States.
It's probably how people feel about like the Bridgewater Triangle when we talk about that. And then we're like, yeah, we live there. And they're like, what? But like
just
on a
doesn't
different
feel
level.
real. Like it doesn't feel like Saddleworth Moor is a real place, even though it is. So what they've decided now that they're going to start, assaulting and killing children, is that they are going to have to form a code to do this by. And Myra didn't decide this, Ian decided this.
And they already had like that little code where they would raise their eyebrows at each other.
Oh, this is a different kind of code. Like not the code like I'm warning you about something. This is like a code, like a moral code to go by.
Oh, gotcha.
So this code is like rules that they're going to follow so that they don't get caught.
Did they like write this shit down?
They did. And it was Ian who was very serious about this code, because he wanted to do this forever. He was like...
He's a Capricorn, right?
He sure is.
It makes sense that he had to write down his fucking plan to do
something. I know.
Something.
Whenever I see things like this in this case, like as a Capricorn, I'm like, I get it.
It makes
like,
full sense that he was like, listen, Myra, we're going to write everything down. We're going to do this my way.
He also had, we're going to find out soon, after they murdered, he created a checklist for them to go down to make sure that they got rid of all the quote unquote, what he called forensic.
Wow.
So he's very much a Capricorn.
Yeah,
like he is,
through and through.
For sure. But like the worst kind. So this code, the first thing in this code was the most important thing, and it was no connecting threads.
Okay.
So he was like, there cannot be even one tiny thread that connects us to the person we killed.
Right. It has to be like a completely random person that we don't know.
Exactly. He was like, no way can we ever be connected to this person. We can't kill people we know. We can't kill people that our friends know. It has to be
a completely random
nothing
stranger.
Can be traced to us, which is, I guess, a good thing to start with if you're going to start murdering people.
Yeah.
They also...
Don't write that down.
Yeah, I mean, don't, but he also said we're going to have to make sure we get rid of any tire marks, any footprints. We have to make sure there's no hairs, fibers, fingerprints. We have to, like, go down the checklist and make sure.
Duh, Ian.
Then he said we have to go to these murders with a set of duplicate clothing. So that we can take off the clothing we use, tear it up into little pieces, and burn it.
Okay.
And that makes sense again. Everything has to be cleaned immediately, including the car that we use. It's like, has to be done that the second we are done with the murder, we are cleaning everything.
Wow.
We're not spending, we're not going to bed and then waking up in the morning.
Like right then and there.
It's happening, like right there. And he also had a luggage, like a pair of luggage that he brought to... Where did he bring? Oh, the Manchester Central Station. And he kept it in the lost luggage. And he used that for what he called incriminating evidence. And he
just tossed it in there?
They were locked, so like nobody could get into them except for him. But that's where he kept all the things that he didn't want them to find in his home.
That's like really smart in like
it's
a crazy way.
He's so intricate with this shit. And they said, and they didn't want to, because he said basically we should destroy all evidence. Like we shouldn't keep anything. We shouldn't do anything.
No trophies.
But then he was like, but if we do, we should put it in the luggage. So it's like, well, you're kind of already breaking your own code there, but okay. So he also said we have to have false plates on all the cars that we use. We have to destroy the weapons afterwards. So if we use a knife, we have to break the blade off the handle, and we have to burn the handle and melt the blade.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I'm like, what are your days off?
Also, I'm like, how long did it take you to come up with all this? Like, that's
right? I feel like you've been thinking about this for a while.
And then the last thing was they had to make sure they had an alibi of some sort, so they would like go to the movies and get a movie ticket, or they, make sure they talked to their mother before they did this. And it had to be, they said it had to be viable, this alibi, for up to 14 days.
Wait, what?
Like meaning it would check out for that.
For 14 days?
Like it would, like if you looked at it a week later, you could still be able to recall exactly where you were. If somebody said, 2 weeks ago, what did you do on this day? Right now, you'd be like, I don't fucking know. I
have literally no idea.
And I would be like, I have no idea what I did on that day. He was like, oh no, we're going to know everything we did on that day. So you have to make sure that at least 14 days out, you can remember every detail of it.
Damn.
Yeah.
I would have had trouble with that one.
Now, another like interesting rule that he didn't make official, but he did mention it later, and I just thought it was interesting because I'm like, what?
Oh, God.
So this came about when they went on like a quick little getaway to Scotland, him and Myra once, like during a weekend, because he would take her
During their day off.
Yeah, you know, he would take her back to Scotland and like show her his old like hangouts, like you would in a relationship.
I mean, they were in a relationship, I guess.
And oftentimes, you know, it was Scotland in, you know, the 60s at this point, or late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah.
A lot of kids were just like playing outside, a lot of them by themselves.
Yeah.
Like it happened all the time. And he said often Myra would say, why can't we pick one of these kids?
Yeah.
And he would always say, I would never harm a fellow Scots kid.
Wow.
So he said, absolutely not. We will never take someone from Glasgow.
I feel like that makes sense because Papa's
And it's like,
Scottish.
what?
And
Right.
Papa's not a murderer, obviously.
No.
But I feel like that, like, it makes sense. Like, knowing a Scottish person, it makes sense.
It does. Like when I read that, I was like, as weird as that sounds, I'm like, yeah,
I get it.
I get that.
Like, Scottish people are like, we're all brethren.
Yeah, we're all brethren. And so July 11th, 1963. We're about to get into it, everybody. Hold on to those butts.
Like I said last time, Gorilla Glue for the booty.
It's going to get bad. So he has those 2 luggage bags, and he leaves them at the Manchester Central Station because they're ready. They're ready to go now. They know they want to do this. They're starting
The code
plan.
is in place. Let's get it.
He
But
said,
not
yeah.
actually.
So now Myra said later that she never knew what was in those bags. She never opened them. She never knew what was in them.
That's probably a lie, right?
I think mostly everything that Myra says is a lie.
Right.
And the reason I think this is because she gets proven wrong quite
Constantly.
often. And she lies to the victims' families outright.
Right.
Like,
So
she's
it's
been
like,
caught.
what moral code does she have?
Yeah. And it's like she lied about the Leslie Ann Downey shit. Like she said she wasn't there. She was running a bath, and which we'll get into in part 3. But it's like, and then she was caught. She didn't think they would ever get that tape, and they got the tape, and they find out that she was really willing in it.
She saw the shit in the bag. She probably, because I feel like I picture her more wanting to take something than I picture Ian wanting to take something.
And you know what? You're right on target there.
Hey yo,
Because you will see she kind of fucks up at one point.
2 years into
Look at
this
you.
podcast, I figured it
You're
out.
on it now. You figured out the code. So she said she's never seen what's in them. I think Dr. Alan Keatley was the one who spoke very often to Ian Brady.
Yeah.
And Ian Brady often contradicted what Myra said and was like, yeah, okay, she can say whatever
And like,
she wants.
here's the
But
proof for this.
he would often, be like, here's the proof. But I don't think he ever would answer that question of whether she had seen what's in there or not. So they both took that answer with them.
Okay.
Basically.
We know what's in there, obviously, right?
We don't.
Oh, okay.
We don't know what's in them. I don't even know where they went.
Oh,
to
shit.
be honest. I know. So it's weird. So they planned that they were going to go out and they were going to look for someone. Mm-hmm. They never had someone in mind ahead of time. They went out hunting.
Right.
And they picked the person right then and there, and they had the plan in place, but they picked the person on the spot.
That's always scarier.
It is. So they planned that if they didn't find someone the following day by 8 p.m., that they were going to abort the mission and wait a while.
Okay.
That was their plan. And they also, again, wanted to establish alibis by starting home. And they wanted to start at home in the evening and be there up until 8 o'clock.
Right.
So Friday, July 12th, 1963, they both went to work. They worked a normal day till like 5:30. And then they were like, all right, we're going to go out hunting tonight. That's what they were going to do. Friday night. So they went to Gorton Lane to go hunting. That was nearby where they were. And Ian was at his home first, and he prepped ahead of time. And what he did was he put like a band on his wrist, and in that elastic band, he put a knife, like a sheath knife.
Okay.
And he put the handle towards his hand, so he would be able to like pull it
Like,
out if
flip
he
it.
needed to. Yeah. And he also had another knife in an oiled sheath.
Okay.
Which, if anybody can tell me what like an oiled sheath would do, would that just make it easier to pull out at a moment's notice?
Yes.
I'm not sure. Like,
I'm just
I
saying,
don't know.
yeah, I have no idea.
It would, but I don't know if that's the reason for it. But like, let us know if you know.
Maybe it's so that the knife didn't rust. I have no
There
idea.
you go. That could be it.
Yeah,
Well, sure, why not? He also put on surgical gloves,
as one does.
and to hide that, because that's pretty like, oh hi, I'm gonna
A
murder
telltale
you.
sign.
He put on leather riding gloves over his surgical gloves.
Oh, right. I bet his hands were nice and clammy.
Real gross. And so he also had his camera, because remember in part 2, he had bought a camera and he got really into documenting a lot of shit.
Because he's a sexual sadist.
Sure is. And if you Google Ian Brady and Myra Hindley, many photos that he has taken come up.
No thanks.
They're not like gruesome or anything. They're just of the two of them. Like they took a
Weird.
lot of photos of each other. So he had his camera, and he also had a pair of binoculars.
Okay.
And those things he had hidden ahead of time in Myra's van.
Okay.
Now, if you remember, Myra had borrowed a black van from a neighbor.
Oh, she borrowed it from a neighbor. I thought
Yeah.
they got it.
The neighbor does give them the van, so that was good, but they eventually just borrowed it.
She's like, you can keep the van.
Yeah, you got that van. That's all you.
It's all you.
So the binoculars were used because he wanted to be absolutely sure that no one was in like miles radius of what they were doing. So they would use the binoculars to make sure there wasn't even like the slightest movement out on the moors. Like they were very paranoid.
This is so fucked up, but I'm picturing like a silent film of them getting ready.
It's true.
Like
though,
a black and white silent film.
because he's wearing like a 3-piece suit.
Yeah.
Which is very silent filmy, and then she's like dressed in like the 60s, like very like femme fatale.
And then I just
thing.
picture him like looking out like either
Yeah.
like side to side with the binoculars.
And you can hear like the weird like
and I like picture
music
her
going.
like going out to like start the van.
Yeah. Hate it.
My brain works in
Hate
a
it.
real
What a
weird way.
fucked up silent movie.
Yeah.
So at 7:45 p.m., Ian went downstairs and he saw his mother, Maggie, and he saw his stepfather, Pat Brady, and they were watching TV, I think, at the time, and he just said, "Hey, is the clock right?" And they were like,
that was smart.
"Right." And so they were like, "Oh yeah, the clock's right. It's this time, blah, blah, blah." And he did that so that, boom, they would remember. Like, it was genius.
Yeah, honestly.
So he did that. Unfortunately, he's smart. And again, using the neighbor's black van, the plan was that Myra was going to she was going to drive around in the van with Ian behind her on his motorbike.
Okay.
Because remember, he has a motorbike.
Yes.
When Myra saw a potential victim, she would slow down to alert Ian that she was considering one. Mm-hmm. And he would see this, and if he agreed that this was a good choice, he would flash his headlights at her.
Oh my god.
But if he didn't flash his headlights, he was like, no.
Keep going.
So, yeah, it's insane.
Imagine like seeing a guy in a 3-piece suit just riding a motorbike.
No. and
real
Ian
weird.
Brady, who's this like super gangly, like just
He almost has like bug eyes.
he does. There's a lot of evil just showing on his
Yeah.
face. Like it like comes out of his face. Now the reason that they were giving for needing to go to Saddleworth Moor when they picked someone up, because they weren't just going to pick someone up, abduct them violently, and then like just kicking and screaming get them
that
to
would
Saddleworth Moor.
be very obvious.
Because they had planned this out. They wanted this to be a cathartic and like transcendental experience for the two of them. So
Okay.
they wanted to be able to lead them out to the moors and then have the experience. They didn't want to have to drag them out to the moors. That ruins the whole thing for them.
You need the drive to the moors to be calm.
Yeah.
And like exciting almost.
Yeah, exactly. So the reason that how they were going to get this kid in the car and with them to Saddleworth Moor was they were going to say that Myra had dropped a glove earlier on the moors and that this glove was very special to her. It had sentimental value, and they would ask, because kids always want to help, and they were going to prey on that, and they were going to say, could you please help us find this glove? Like they were going to offer the kid like a ride somewhere, like home or wherever they were going, and then go,
But like first,
do you
can
mind
do
if we
this?
stop really quick and I feel like you'll be able to help us?
Right.
So far, it worked every single time.
Crazy.
Yeah. So they also had a spade or like a shovel that they had hidden in
At the
the
moors
moors already.
already.
And they bought a shovel for every murder because they would get rid of the shovel afterwards. So they were very thorough.
With cash.
Yes, exactly. So they drove down Gorton Lane, and Brady immediately sees a little girl.
Okay.
Immediately. And he immediately starts flashing his lights because he's like, whoa, 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 I want this one.
Ew.
Yeah. And Myra keeps driving. She's not slowing down. So he's like, what the fuck? So he had her pull over up like a little ways, and he's like, what? Why didn't
Yeah.
you pull over? And she's like, okay, well, that's Mary Ruck. I know who that is.
Oh, shit.
And she's 8 years old. And she said, and she is lucky to have escaped with her life because Ian wanted
Like, wanted her really bad.
Yeah. So, yeah. So he was like, well, what? So when he said, like, why didn't you grab her? She was like, I know who she is. And Myra said her family were neighbors with Myra's mother.
Oh, so
And
that's a very direct link.
And they were like, also, and the two of them did agree on this, that she was like, also an 8-year-old is going to make a lot more headlines than a little older.
And also, it's a fucking 8-year-old.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Because the way they talk about this is like, and then we just realized that, you know, like 8-year-olds, that's really going to get some attention. And it's like, you're talking about a fucking child.
Right.
Any human is going to make a splash.
But especially a child.
But a fucking 8-year-old, you're talking about it like it's a bike. So he agreed. He was like, yep, that would, you know, no connecting threads. We don't need that. And you're right. Like, let's not start off with a bang and get caught right away.
Jesus Christ.
So they keep going down Gordon Lane, and eventually this led to Froxmer Lane. And on this street, she parked the van, and they decided they were going to wait to see if anybody walked down. And they waited a little while, not too long. And then a young, beautiful 16-year-old girl named Pauline Reade came walking down the street towards the van. Now, Pauline had dark hair and blue eyes. She was, like, beautiful. And she just, like, looks sweet.
Right.
Like, you just look at the picture of her and you're just like, oh.
When you have dark hair and blue eyes, you're just, like, the prettiest.
Oh, I know. That's such a good combination. It really is. And it's, like, rare.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So she was wearing a pink and gold skirt, a black dress shirt, a cardigan, and a powder blue coat that was like flared out and like had a belt around it.
Yeah.
She was wearing new shoes that she had just bought that day. They were white heels with like ankle straps on them.
Oh my God.
She looked
fashionable
like,
as
I was
fuck.
like, you look great, girl. But that evening, so what she was doing out at that time and alone was that evening she had begged her mother to allow her to attend a dance at the Railway Workers Social Club, which was only about 10 minutes walk away from her house.
Okay.
And like this happened a lot.
Yeah.
Her mom initially said no because her friends who were supposed to go with her suddenly weren't allowed to go. Their mom said no because alcohol was sold at that place. And so they were like, no, you're not going there. But eventually she did convince her mom that to let her go because she was like, oh, other friends are going to be there and I'll just meet them.
Right.
And so her mom was like, all right. And even after that, she was like, I like struggled with that decision. And like, obviously she like kicked herself for it afterward. And it's like, oh.
That's like the episode we did on the Irish,
Yeah.
the Ireland triangle.
The vanishing triangle. It's like hindsight is always 20/20. And her mother, whose name is Joan, says she remembers getting her ready, doing her hair and makeup. And then before she left, she gave her her favorite locket to wear around her neck.
Wow. The way that just like set up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow.
Yeah. And like she literally was like, I'll take good care of it.
Yeah.
Like that's what she said. And she remembers, you know, saying bye to her daughter. And that was the last time she saw her alive.
Jesus.
She had left the house at around 7:45.
That is brutal.
So she ran right into them. It was like perfect timing. So on the way, before she had seen Myra and Ian, she ran into her best friend, Pat Cummings, on the way to the dance. And Pat Cummings was one of the friends who was suddenly not allowed to go to the dance.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, she wasn't telling Pauline this yet because she wanted to surprise her. Her mom had said she could go.
Yeah.
So when she ran into Pat, she was like, oh, yeah, I still can't go. And then she was going to go around a different way and meet her at the entrance and be like, surprise, we got to go.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And it was going to be her and another friend, I think, that were going to do this.
Everything that's working the way that it's working right now is like horrific.
Yeah. And after talking to her like really briefly, they did take another way. They walked down Froxmer Street and they waited at the entrance of this social club and she never showed up. And they just figured, because I guess everything that I read about her, people said she was very shy. She was very careful.
Aww.
She was nervous of like strangers. She did not like fuck with strangers.
So they thought she didn't, maybe she changed her mind.
And they were like, I think she really thought we weren't going to go. And they were like, we were surprised, honestly, that she was like being so confident to like just go by herself. So they were like, we thought she just went home.
Because
like,
this wasn't a school dance. This was
just like a dance.
Right.
And so later, Pat Cummings said, quote, when she came to our house, she would ask me to walk her home if it was dusk. She was not the sort to get in a car with a stranger.
Okay.
And the thing about this is she doesn't get in the car with a stranger. She knew Myra.
So why did... Okay,
don't worry, we'll
ahead.
get into that. So her full name is Pauline Catherine Reade. And she was raised as a Catholic. She loved going to Mass. She was a good girl. Her parents were Joan and Amos Reade. She had an older brother named Paul, and they were a very close family.
Yeah. It
Paul-
sounds like it.
Yeah, like she was close to everyone in her family, but Paul and her were super close, like very close siblings, and her mother were very close.
Yeah.
She, like I said, she knew Myra. And how she knew Myra was she had gone to school with her sister Maureen.
Oh.
And Maureen was 17 at the time.
Right.
So she's like a younger
Only a
sister.
year older than...
And Myra had spoken to Pauline's mother several times.
You're kidding me.
They had interacted before.
So already you're breaking the rules.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Big
and then
time.
Myra's father, like the drunk one that like constantly like went crazy
The
on
one
his
that's
family.
like Ian.
He and Pauline's father Amos were often together at the pub talking. The two fathers knew each other.
Okay, so this is like completely...
Oh, and there, just wait, because there's another connection that will come up.
What? Later?
So, yeah, just in a little bit. But as Pauline walks down the road, she's stopped by Myra in the black van. And she asked her, she was like, oh, hey, do you want a lift? Like, I'm Maureen's sister. And she was like, oh, yeah, like, I remember.
I know you. You look just like fucking Maureen.
Exactly. So she agreed because she's like, of course I'm going to get in. It's fucking Maureen's older sister. I know her. I've seen her. I've talked to her. So then Myra said, okay, cool. I'll bring you to the dance. And then she said, but you know what? Can we stop at Saddleworth Moor real quick? Because I lost a very important glove. Yada, yada, yada. Couldn't you help me find it?
And
Pauline's a
like
sweetheart.
a sweet girl.
She's kind. She's helpful. So she was like, absolutely. And again, this is someone she knows, older sister. She's just being a good person.
Good person, exactly.
Now, of course, at this time, the signal had now gone out to Brady, and he was to Ian Brady, and he was alerted to meet her at the moors because apparently Myra's going with this.
Okay.
Which is not a
Which
good
is
idea.
not what she's supposed to do.
Now, he said later, I just have to read what he said about when he got that signal and he was like, cool, I'm going to go meet them.
Oh, man.
His inner thoughts, because you do think about it, like he
must have been thinking crazy.
She's saying, we're doing this. He's watching this girl get into the car and he's sitting there going, I'm going to brutally murder this girl.
Right.
Like, we're on our way to do this right now. Like, this is the first one. So he later said of this, quote, no one and this is something that like you don't think about until somebody says it. No one who saw me ride past them on my way to Gorton could have guessed what I was about to do.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it was unfolding before their eyes, but how could they know? They would know many, many years later, but wouldn't remember that I rode past them that night. For me, it was the beginning of an existential exercise beyond good and evil. The streets of Manchester were the backdrops for scene one. This was the one far-off event to which my destiny had been taking me all these years. I recoiled at the idea, but at the same time, I was impatient for its fruition. The passing throng could not know it. They were cut off from me forever. Something irrevocable was about to happen, which would affect the lives of thousands for decades into the future and soon reduce my life to the status of a ghost on the human stage. I felt a strange sense of nostalgia for the world I was about to abandon, as though an irreversible final parting was taking place. Was I about to step through the final doorway to madness, or had I already entered it long ago?
I'm going to need the cliff notes for that one.
So basically what he's saying is he drove by a bunch of people that day, and in his mind as he's driving by them, he's like, they have no idea what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
But later, when when the story is told,
they're going to be like, holy fuck, I drove
they'll
past
find
that guy.
out. And he was like, and he's like, it's going to affect thousands of people. Like, this is going to be something that's going to shatter the world eventually.
I feel like he's one of those obviously people that thinks a lot about themselves. Like, they will remember me, Ian.
Unfortunately, he's correct.
Of course, yeah.
And also, he thinks so highly of himself.
Yeah.
Just the way he speaks is like, I'm so above all
Everybody.
Of you. It's like he goes he's so hyperbolic and he's so like...
And like
flowery with his language and theatrical. It's like, oh,
not to feed into it, and he's not above anybody, but the way that he thinks is just so far removed from how anybody like
and it's
normal people
unfortunate,
think.
But it would be a lie to say that he's not highly intelligent.
No, he
is
definitely
more
is.
intelligent than many people. It's
He just uses
unfortunate.
it in a very evil way.
Yeah, he just tapped into a really dark part of that intelligence.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but I thought it was interesting to hear what went through his mind, because rarely do we hear what goes through a serial killer's mind as they're about to go commit their first murder.
That is very true.
That is so planned out. So when they get there, He said Myra and Pauline, this is what Ian said, that Myra and Pauline were smoking cigarettes together, sitting in the van. And he said he looked at Pauline and he said she was very pretty immediately. And in Dr. Alan Keatley's book, he said that Ian told him he started to remove the leather gloves as he approached them.
Oh, God.
But then realized that he had the surgical gloves underneath them. So he was like, oh, shit. So he kept them on. But can you imagine this dude walking up to you and he pulls off his gloves and he's wearing surgical gloves? I'd be like, whoa. So they started all looking for the glove because that's what they were there for. He was like, let's go look. But Myra and Ian had a place already planned out. So they were taking her directly to the place they'd already planned out.
No idea.
Yep, and they led her directly there. Ian trailed behind them a little. But then after letting Myra know that he was ready to go through what he called the Groucho, where he like lifted his eyebrows.
Yeah.
He did that, and that was the sign that he was going to grab Pauline and it was going to begin.
Okay.
So he did it, and he came up behind Pauline. He grabbed her from behind in what he referred to as a Japanese stranglehold.
Okay.
And I was like, you probably just grabbed her. Like, don't.
Yeah,
calm
like,
down.
let's calm down
Let's
a little
not
bit.
name
Exactly.
things. She fell to the ground, and she was told not to make a sound because it was pointless anyways. That's what
Which
they told her.
Literally was.
And it was, unfortunately. According to Ian, she looked up at Myra and immediately started begging her, please, Myra, make him stop. Because, again, she's thinking, like, Myra
this girl
will make this stop. Like, well, this can't happen. And he said Myra just smiled down at her. And Ian said that Myra just yelled at her to be quiet again. And, like, and her face just changed. Like, she was like, shit, I have no one here. Like,
Right,
that's...
'cause, wow.
Immediately, she was like, I'm alone.
It's just realization.
So Ian claims that Pauline also begged Myra to tell him that she was unwell. And he was like, you need to tell me what that means. Like, what do you mean you're unwell? And Myra was like, she means she's on her period. She's on that time of the month.
Oh, okay.
And obviously he didn't
care.
care. And she was trying to say that to avoid being raped. Because, of course, he's like,
she knows what's
has
happening.
her on the ground. She can see what's happening. Myra immediately started undressing her as he held her. She begged her to stop the entire time, and Myra kept going. They undressed her completely. They raped her together.
Ew.
When they were done, they let her get dressed. But when she went to put on the necklace, Myra grabbed it out of her hands.
I knew the necklace was going to come into play.
And she said something like, you won't be needing this where you're going. Now, that sounds like something out of a movie and like, you're not going to need this where you're going. Well, Ian was pissed because if you remember from part one, one of his biggest things is he wants
it to be shocking.
Likes to surprise his victims. He
Right.
doesn't want them knowing what's happening.
Right.
And so he was pissed, and he said the first thing that he came to his mind was he just reached out and slapped Myra across the face, like struck her in the face.
It must have been so confusing for Pauline.
Pauline must have been like, what the fuck? Because they've done this horrific thing to you. Now they're fighting with each other. I'd be like, oh my God, what's going to happen here? So, yeah, so he slaps her in the face, and Ian said that after that, it just went silent. Everyone just went silent, and he said he let like the dark, deep, oppressive silence just hang for a moment.
Ew.
And everybody, just terror hanging in the air, and he like loved
obviously.
that. And he let Pauline understand, and he said that silence was supposed to let her understand that they were going to kill her.
Okay.
And he was like, and it did, because I looked in her face and it was like abject terror. Like she knew.
Great.
Then Myra said, out of nowhere, she's Pauline Reade. And Ian was like, say what?
Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill. It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month, even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending, 0 tears. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Why did she say that?
So I think...
Did you think she
got
just realized it?
No, she got slapped in the face.
And then
she
was like, I'll slap you in the face.
Well, guess what, motherfucker? It's Pauline Reade. We just broke our first code. Like, I think she was literally like, yeah, well, there you go.
So, like, slap me, I'll slap you.
Slap me, I just fucked you over. Like, sorry. So Ian, what had happened was, because he was like, wait, Pauline Reade, what? And he's like, what does that mean?
I was going to say, does that mean anything to him?
Ian had taken photos of Maureen, Myra's sister. Like, Maureen had asked him to take photos because he was a good photographer. And she was like, can you take photos for me? I want to give these photos to my boyfriend, David Smith, who is 17 as well.
Yeah.
They also called Maureen Mo.
Okay.
So, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ian thought that Maureen was more attractive than Myra.
Yes.
And let Myra know that.
That's
like
nice.
made it very obvious.
Again, like
the whole
Carla
session.
Homolka and
it's literally the same thing.
Parl Bernardo. I literally just forgot his name.
The same thing.
That's weird.
And the whole time he was telling her like how beautiful and he was flirting with her.
And Myra was there.
And Myra was right there watching the entire thing. Yep.
What the fuck? I'd be like, cool, then we're done.
Yeah. Well, and then Myra after the photo session, Myra allegedly told Ian that David, Maureen's boyfriend, had been seen with another girl recently, and she was pissed about it.
Oh.
And she said that girl's name is Pauline Reade.
Okay.
So this other girl, that 16-year-old girl, it wasn't he was seen with her, like making out with her or something.
It was just literally
they were just
seen with her.
together, and it pissed her off. That's all it was. Now Myra initially, when she told Ian this, like after the photo session, she was like, I want David dead. But Ian was like, no, we can't kill Ian. Like, do you see how this doesn't work?
Right.
Like, we can't kill your sister's boyfriend.
That's way too connected. You're
the
stupid.
first part of the code. And then he was like, no, what we could do was sometime later we can get Maureen and David to help us. Like, we can blackmail them into helping us.
Okay.
So he's like, they're useful. They're 17. Like, we can totally manipulate them into helping us.
It's terrifying.
So she gave it up.
You would think he'd be smarter than to like involve like young people.
You would think. But Ian immediately now like we go forward. Mm-hmm. When she says it's Pauline Reade, he immediately is like, oh shit. This is Pauline that Maureen had seen talking to her friend fucking David Smith. And he was like, oh my God, Myra did this just to get revenge on this, like to take away the source of Maureen's like
she did it for her sister almost.
And he's like, what the fuck? Like you can't do that. Like we can't just like enact your revenge. This is. Like that's not how this works. So he's like, oh shit. So again, this is a direct connection in many ways. So he's pissed. So at this point, he ran back to the van to grab the camera and such and left her with Myra. Because he's like, now nothing is good here. We have to kill her. No, not that I was gonna not kill her, but like, what other choice do we have?
And he didn't really probably want to at that point anymore.
Exactly.
Kind of.
And now it's kind of like broken down the very like clinical, very like by the book way that he wanted to do this.
And let me tell you what happens when you fuck with a Capricorn's plan.
It's true. It's not good.
I would never fuck with Alaina's plans.
Exactly. And that's what and this happened in a big way.
Yeah.
So he's real not happy, but he leaves Myra with Pauline.
He's real not happy.
One would say he's real not happy.
Okay.
Just putting not happy.
No. Okay.
Real not happy. So, I don't know why it came out like that.
That was funny.
I just have a lot going on.
We all need
it. So he leaves her with Myra. He runs back to get the stuff. When he comes back, he says that Myra was on top of Pauline and was screaming for Ian to help her. And Ian's like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what?
He's like, I didn't tell you to do anything.
And then he realizes that she has tried to stab Pauline in the chest with the kitchen knife that they had. But the kitchen knife was too dull and the blade had bent. She had hit her so hard that the blade bent.
Oh my God.
And then he says he looks at her face and her head and she's gushing blood from everywhere because Myra had literally like beat the shit out of her with her fists or something.
Or maybe the knife even.
Yeah, he was like, he hit her with something because she had like a huge hematoma on her
gash.
head. Her nose was busted. Her mouth was bleeding.
He's like, I've been gone for like 4 seconds.
And he's like, damn. So he was like, all right, well, okay, blood is everywhere. So he kneels down, he grabs the knife and that he had strapped to his wrist. That, like, sheath
not
knife.
the bent one.
Yeah, because he was like, you didn't even do this right, apparently. So he grabs the one on his wrist and he cuts her throat.
Okay.
The first cut was not deep enough to sever the carotid artery, so he did it again.
Oh, God.
The second one worked, and he said she bled out instantaneously.
Okay.
Now, that's how she died. Ian later said, quote, although I have dropped to the depths of depravity, Myra dropped even further. It is human nature that if caught, the pupil will blame the master for their own criminal conduct. But should the criminal enterprises succeed, I can assure you from wide personal experience, the pupil's devotion to criminal activities can outdo that of the master, like that of a convert.
Wow.
So he was literally like...
She would have outdone me.
Yeah, because, again, Myra... We'll go into what's going to happen is we are going to hear Ian's version of these stories and Myra's. You guys can decide which one you believe. I think it's somewhere not in the middle, because I think Myra is a lying asshole. Ian is an asshole.
Right.
I don't think he I don't think he cares about looking bad.
Right.
I think he's just like, yes, this is what I did.
But
I
I'm
think
sure he embellishes a little more than necessary.
Exactly. So I think he, if anything, adds on to what happened. Myra takes away completely. So I think it's
But the
somewhere
truth lies a lot closer to Ian's version of events.
version. And Myra's, I think, is completely false because she removes herself from any blame at all.
Oh, duh.
And as we know from the audio of Leslie Ann Downey, she is not blameless.
Well,
So
and I think that she
wrong.
knows she's a woman, and I think she probably thought she could be like, I could
Oh,
never.
yeah. She thinks she's going to get all the sympathy,
wants to
but
play
no one
coy.
believes her. So Myra she got out of the van. They put the weapons away. While he waited, he chain smoked, he said, but he was very careful to put the butts in his pocket. He didn't flick them onto the Moors because that would be dumb.
DNA.
And he said he just sat there and stared at Pauline's body in the silence and the darkness.
Okay.
Which I'm like, you fucking monster.
Yeah,
like,
twisted fuck.
that's monster under your bed shit.
That's
like, I'm just sitting there staring at this woman I just brutalized.
This whole thing sounds like a fake movie.
It does, and it's real, which is so scary.
And I have to say, the way you're telling it, I'm like picturing everything in my head.
Right? It's like, because the way it happened is just so like cinematic.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like horror
I'm
cinematic.
like, it's just so movie.
It's so movie.
We're
much
both-
movie, so cinema.
We're both not good at this
We're
today.
not. So they dug a grave about 4 or 5 feet deep because it's like peat out there, so it's very like easy to dig in.
I was like, it's what?
You're like, yeah,
Peter?
Pete. And they placed her in. They took care not to make the outside of the grave look like the earth had been disturbed.
Right.
So they made it look like it was just everything else. They counted their steps going back so that they could come back and photograph it later.
Okay.
Yeah. They tore up all their clothing and they burned them along with the handle of the knife.
Yep.
And then they threw the remnants of it in the River Irwell. They cleaned the van completely. Myra admitted to him that she kept the necklace out of nowhere. She was like, oh, whoops, I have this necklace, by the way.
And did they go put it in the
And he was
thing?
like, you dumbass. Well, no, he was like, no, like, we did not discuss taking that. You can't do this. Like, you
He's
fucked
like,
this
you
up from
fucked
the
up the
beginning.
entire first thing.
Well, and she also was like, I also took the money out of her purse. Or out of her pocket, excuse me.
You can't spend her money.
Now, according to Ian, that's what happened. Myra took the money and was like, whoop, whoop. And they were like, well, now we have to spend this to get it away from us. Like, we can't have this.
Right.
But according to Myra, Ian took the money. And she said that they should bury it with her body.
No,
So-
I think she took the money.
Exactly. So I have no idea, but both of them say the complete opposite.
Because his whole thing was, no, we can't take anything.
Exactly.
I don't think he would have taken the money.
And they ended up burying the necklace somewhere far away. Because they
Okay.
were like, how sad is that her mother
Never
knows
got
that
that
necklace
necklace back.
is somewhere buried.
Yeah.
Like, that kills me. So what they say, either way, what they said was that they watched a movie, they had sex, they drank a bottle of wine, and then they went to sleep because it was a success.
That is always so shocking to me that people just do this and then go about their regular, like, day to day.
Exactly.
It's insane.
Now, like I said, Myra, like the lying sack of shit, said at one point that, and it's like, why would you even say this? Like she's trying to sound evil. It's like she wants to sound innocent, but also evil.
Because she can't decide.
So Myra said at one point that when they were going back to the house that night, that they saw Pauline's mother looking for her.
Uh-huh.
Now, Ian said that's a lie. And in the book Return to Hell by Robert Wilson, he's a journalist.
Yeah.
Pauline's brother Paul said he saw Myra on Chalmers Street at 9:45 p.m. that night as he returned home from being out at the movies that night.
Yeah.
So at that point, the mom wasn't out looking yet. But Paul saw Myra. Myra didn't see Paul.
Right.
So it just became like a totally different story.
That's just stupid.
And I guess Paul said like when he got home, that's when his mom was like, Pauline isn't home yet. And that's when they went out.
Okay.
So now Myra claims that she was not into it at all. And that if Ian said that if she backed out of this whole thing, like if she decided to go to the police or decided she didn't want to do this again, that he was going to put her in the same grave as Pauline.
Okay.
He denies this. And again,
well, I don't think she ever said she didn't want to do it because the whole thing is she's the one that picked Pauline.
Exactly. And he had resigned himself. Like, I'm going to be in prison forever. So
right.
He held on to a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But it was mostly just to spite other people. It wasn't to save his own ass. Like,
yeah, it was more to like be even more
better.
evil to the victim's family.
He wanted to look as evil as humanly possible. So I do believe him on that one, I would say. Just with the fact that she tries to manipulate everybody. According to Myra's side of the story, Ian had arrived at the moors before them. Like, had arrived there, and then her and Pauline got there.
Okay.
So this is Myra saying. And she's saying that he took Pauline all by himself to the location they scouted.
Yeah.
And Myra said she just sat at the car innocently until Ian came back and knocked on the window to tell her that he needed help moving Pauline's body.
Okay.
So she had nothing to do with it.
No.
She didn't even know what happened. Because then, just like, oh,
no,
she's dead now.
Because then he would have taken the necklace, and he wrote down that he wasn't going to take the necklace, and I don't believe that he would have taken anything.
And
to
it's
be honest.
Just his version of the story is very like cut and dry. He's just like, yeah, we had a plan. We made a sign for each other. One of us would grab her. The other one holds her down. We did it. And she's like, no, I didn't have anything to do with it.
I don't believe that.
And it's like, oh, honey, stop. You're both.
Well, and hers is
evil.
just so like no detail.
I had nothing to do with
it.
Right. Oh, and every single time she tells her side of the story, she also never heard anything. She never saw anything. She never heard anything.
Right. That doesn't make any sense.
And it just doesn't make sense. So both of their stories do say that she was, because she said, when I saw her, she was almost decapitated. That's how deep she was cut.
Yeah.
This is true because the pathologist who autopsied her later said that the second cut severed her spinal cord.
Pauline.
That's how deep. So she also said, and it's like, this is why she goes back and forth. To Inspector Tyrell, who was on the case during her confession, Myra said, quote, I made all of my own decisions. People go through several stages in their life. After discussions, they change their mind. Ian never made me do anything I didn't want to do. All that killing is bloody rubbish.
Okay. So he didn't kill her then?
So he's saying, no, she's saying, whatever happened, I did it because I wanted to. Ian didn't make me do it. Oh. But then later she's like, Ian made me do everything.
Right, that doesn't make any sense.
And then the other story she spins is, I didn't do anything. So it's like, which one is it, honey?
Yeah, she's annoying.
Yeah. So the news of Pauline missing went everywhere.
Yeah, it's
real
a
quick.
16-year-old girl on her way to a dance.
Yeah, it's in all the papers. Police are going door-to-door searching. Her family's going door-to-door searching. I mean, they're interviewing everyone. Police were completely stumped. They had no evidence because they did do their due diligence.
And at that point, did they have a body?
No, they didn't have a body. And they didn't have bodies until a long time for these kids.
Did it take getting Ian and Myra to get a body?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And a neighbor, or neighbors around them started freaking out because they were like, we all know each other. Like, yeah, who did this? Like, someone took this girl. Because the other thing was, her family, of course, they're going to say, like, did she run away? And then all these things start of like, was
rumors.
She pregnant? Did she have a boyfriend? This and that. And her family was like, no, she would never have run away. Like, we know her. This is not something she would have done.
Right.
And the neighbors all knew that too. So now they're going, who took her? Like, someone took her.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's going on right now. So for weeks, the newspapers reported about her disappearance. They drained canals. Joan was speaking out several times, like a week. She was, trying to say if her daughter came home that she wouldn't be in trouble. Like she was trying to hold out hope. Like if you think you did something wrong, like you can come home, it's okay.
Yeah.
Her parents just didn't rely just on the police to search or investigate. They were out searching every day. Her mother, Joan especially, would take the bus to like other towns, go door to door.
I can't imagine.
Like would not stop. They never gave up hope. And her mother, Joan, said, quote, "It was just one living in hope all the time, thinking she'd come home. I was sat with my coat on for about 3 months, waiting for daylight to come, to run out to see if I could find her. I was just crying and thinking about what had happened in my mind. And I kept thinking about it. It built up, and I think that's what caused it, my nervous breakdown."
Of course she had a nervous breakdown.
Because she ended up having to enter a psychiatric facility at one point because she just had a complete breakdown.
That's her only daughter.
Yeah. And then she also, another quote by her, just to show, because what we see is that they don't, the consequences of these murders is so far reaching in these families. It's so sad. She said, "I was always looking. I even did an Avon job going house to house thinking I'd find her in one of the houses."
Like the makeup, like care.
"I went miles on my own, traveling on buses and everything, thinking if I'd seen her on a bus and I'd be running after that bus. I never thought that Myra Hindley and Ian Brady had something to do with it all, because her sister was a near neighbor, lived next door, but with one Maureen. She went visiting there. Myra Hindley was talking to me normally and saying she was sorry about Pauline.
That's so fucked up.
Knowing she had done that, I didn't think till after it all came back to me. What is what?" So now that also goes against Myra's, I thought it was horrible and I didn't want to do it anymore. And he told me he'd put me in the same grave as Pauline. Really? Because you're going up to her grieving mother and saying how sorry you are, knowing that you guys killed her.
Right. Like
you're
that,
an evil son
some,
of a bitch.
Some kind of thrill from that.
So don't pretend that you didn't enjoy all of that. So meanwhile, the next morning, Ian had seen that he had like blood on his collar. And so because apparently that was the one thing that he didn't think of, it was like his coat collar.
That you're going to get blowback when you stab somebody.
So, exactly. And like a carotid artery. I mean, come on. And so he ended up taking the coat to the dry cleaners, and they used the alias Kennedy because of the president of the United States at the time.
It's random.
Isn't that a weird fact? I just had to put that in there.
That is weird.
A lot like centers around when like Kennedy was shot and stuff too, because it's the same time.
It's the time, yeah.
Ian soon after this, Ian gave Myra a record, and the record was the theme song of a movie called The Legion's Last Patrol in the UK.
My favorite movie.
Yeah. And so he gave her this, and what it was an anniversary present, he called it. And she was like, "What anniversary?" And he was like, "The anniversary of our first perfect murder."
Ew, what the fuck?
And what they did was they would also hum this song to each other when they wanted to remember it.
Ew, what the fuck?
Yep. And this became a theme. He would buy her a record for every murder, and then they would hum that song to each other when they wanted to bring that murder back up.
Okay.
Yep. So then, during this time, something crazy, I had no idea that this happened in their relationship. It's just a weird thing.
Oh.
Myra started dating and sleeping with a cop.
Oh. I feel like she's just like actively trying to fuck this whole thing up.
Exactly. And I don't know, there's several different stories about how they got together, so I'm not even going to spin them. Because
they had an open relationship though, right?
They did, but Ian
Not
was
for cops.
pretty pissed that she was sleeping with a cop. He was not happy about that.
Yeah. Do you think he would have cared if it wasn't a cop?
I don't know. Because I feel like he would want control. I think he wanted the open relationship because he
More for
wanted to
his
do what
end.
he wanted to do, but he probably didn't want her to.
I feel like a lot of times that's what happens
Well,
when dudes want open
Yeah.
relationships.
And this cop was also married.
Good.
And this was after Pauline's murder, and this cop spent time in Myra's home.
That's fucked
where
up.
they had gotten rid of evidence in the fireplace.
Yeah.
So this dude's sitting there, probably actively like knows about all of this.
Well, yeah.
And
Because Ian and Myra didn't live together, right?
they kind of
this
did.
point?
They didn't officially live together. They would like
Go back and forth between houses.
So at this point, they hadn't like actually gotten a place together. So apparently, Ian, according to Myra, Ian got pissed when he found out that she was sleeping with him.
Yeah.
But then the cop actually did say that he showed up once. Ian showed up when they were together and was like, "You need to back the fuck off." Like, was like threatening him, like literally. So
Yeah.
that seems to check out.
I mean, I get that. Like,
Yeah.
I believe it.
So Myra did break it off eventually with this cop, but she later said that if she had met the cop before Ian, then she would have married and had children with him. Like she said
that didn't
she
fucking
was literally
happen.
falling in love with this cop.
What?
Who they were both in relationships.
And you
like,
would
they
have
were having an
had,
affair.
You would have had children with him.
You would have
instead
had
of
children.
killing children.
This is how fucked up they both are.
Well, in her head, I'm just like, what
so
goes on up
much.
there, girl?
So this is November 1963, and now Myra has become, she needs guns because Ian wants guns, and Ian can't get guns because he has a criminal record. So he was like, you need to get guns. So she starts like talking to people at work who go to gun clubs and stuff, and they help her out picking stuff out.
Yeah.
She got a Webley 45 revolver. I'm sorry. I'm sure somebody's going to get mad at me about that.
I literally
I've
don't
never
care
heard
at
of
all.
that, though.
No.
It's a revolver.
We don't know guns.
She also bought a Smith & Wesson, which
we know that.
and a rifle.
A what?
A rifle.
I'm kidding.
I was
kidding.
like, a rifle. I was just like, oh, you know. Right? So they did target practice on the moors with like tin cans and targets and stuff.
This shit is a fucking movie, I'm telling
What's
you.
weird is they like don't use them. Like they don't shoot people.
Oh, that's weird. So it was just a hobby, I guess.
So I feel like it's kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde thing. They just thought it was cool to have guns. I don't even know. Like, because they don't use
Well,
them.
some people just like to collect them, I guess.
Yeah, but like he was like, we need guns now. And then they just never. I'm like, why?
They probably just like decided against it for some reason
whatever.
or another.
So
it's loud.
Yeah, exactly. So according to Myra, he became like really abusive and started like scaring her with the guns, would like point them at her.
I do kind of
Totally believe that he probably did that.
Yeah.
And then at one point she says that like, I think she pointed a gun at him and he was like, what the fuck? And he was like actually terrified. And she was like, how does it fucking feel? And I was like, all right. Like I can
Is
see
there
that
a
happening.
movie about like this whole
There
thing?
is actually. There is a couple movies. I'll mention it at the end of the third one, but yeah, there's a couple movies.
Because
there needs to be.
I hate to say it would like make like all of this just sounds like a movie anyway.
It
I'm like, I
is.
want to like watch this.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, I know that sounds
the
fucked up, I'm
child murder
sorry.
part is I don't want to watch, but like
No, and
I want to
I
watch
didn't mean that.
their weird relationship.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's very weird. So this is when they decide we want to kill again. Mm-hmm. Ian says that Myra came up with it. Myra says that Ian comes up with it. So take that as a grain of
I'm
salt.
sure they probably just both wanted to do it.
Exactly.
They're sick of humming the same
They
damn
both
song.
were laying in bed. They were like, let's fucking kill another kid.
Right.
That's what happened.
They had just aggressively
can
knocked
both
out each other's
pretend.
teeth, and they were like, okay.
Yeah, and like, you know, just so this doesn't come out of nowhere, in part one we mentioned this. Maybe she stuck a candle up his butt. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know. Because if you didn't listen to part one, you'll be like, excuse me? what
You should
now?
have listened to part one.
What
though.
now? Yeah, listen to part one. So, yeah, so they want to kill someone again. And Myra said that Ian told her that, you know, you're the one who's going to lure this child in. That's your job.
This is the whole thing.
And he also said that he was like, this time you're going to lure in, I'll come after. And he said, I want a child this time.
Gross.
And he said, Pauline fought and struggled a lot, and it was hard to hold her down.
Right.
So he was like, because she was
older.
16 and older and more aware. And he was like, I don't want that anymore. I want someone that I can literally just take complete control of. And he also was a disgusting pedophile. So he just wanted a child.
Ew.
Because Ian Brady was a fucking pedophile.
Yeah,
and so was Myra
obviously.
Hindley.
They both are.
So, I mean, because it's easy to forget that, like, not only are they brutal fucking murders, they're pedophiles.
Yeah.
Like, it's disgusting. So, yeah. So he was like, I want a child, so make sure you find me one.
Ew.
Saturday, November 23rd, 1963. They had a plan. They were going to pick a victim. Hindley lures them in. She drives to the moor, lets the victim go with Brady into the moors to find that glove. And she was going to leave and go around the other side of the moors with whatever car she was in.
Uh-huh.
I believe it's like Greenfield is where the entrance to the moors is.
Okay.
And there she was going to take the rifle that would be in the back and she was going to put it on the front passenger seat. She never explains why, because they don't use it.
Is it just supposed to be a scary
I'm not really sure because whoever was going to be dead before, like no one was coming back in the car. So I don't really know.
That's weird.
But then after 30 minutes, she was going to drive back around to where she dropped them off. And then she was going to flash her headlights 3 times. And then if everything was cool and going according to plan in the moors, Ian was going to flash a flashlight 3 times back at her.
Okay.
So that was their plan.
Very intricate.
Exactly. So they planned this time to find their victim at Ashton-under-Lyne.
Yeah.
which had a huge market on the weekends. One thing says that they did this because of that market, and they knew they'd be able to find a kid there that was probably unattended, and there's a lot of people, they wouldn't notice. And then a couple of other sources say that they just happened upon this giant market. So whatever.
Maybe it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, could
they
be a
happened
little
upon
both.
it, and then they were like, oh, perfect.
So Hindley got a rent-a-car for this occasion because she gave the van back to the neighbor.
I feel like that's not a good idea.
No. And picked up Ian at his home. He had another anniversary gift in honor of their second murder.
What if it doesn't work?
And it was a record, and it was 24 Hours from Tulsa by Jane Pitney, I think it is.
Sorry to ruin all these songs for
I know,
you if
I'm
you
really
like
sorry.
them.
Again, whenever they hummed it around each other, it was a little subtle nod to the murder because they wanted to relive it.
Yeah, totally.
Now, and it sounds like Myra's very against this and scared, huh?
Super.
Yeah, no. So they drove to the lake in Staffordshire, and they hung out there. They hiked. They had a day of it. They made it like a couples thing. Then they drove to Huddersfield, and Myra put on a disguise. She
Okay.
wore a black wig that almost looked like her sister's hair.
Oh.
Which I'm like, were you trying to like implicate your sister?
Yeah,
Because you look
that's
just
nice.
like her. But yeah, so she put on the black hair. She put on like a headscarf and like sunglasses, so it really didn't look like her. And then she went into a store. She purchased a shovel, a knife, and some rope and cord.
Just
Then-
casual purchases.
Can you imagine going in there dressed like that and being like, I'd like a shovel, a knife, and some cord, please?
Like, if you're going to get those things, maybe go to different stores.
Also, maybe throw in like an air freshener. Like, no, that would look even worse.
I was gonna
Maybe
say, what?
I don't know why that was the first thing that came to mind. But
snack?
maybe throw in like, like a
Some
Gatorade.
Skittles.
like,
Refreshments.
like something that doesn't scream like, I'm about to murder someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But apparently they didn't care. So then they went back to Manchester and they went to see To Russia with Love, which was a 007 movie.
Awesome.
They did this for an alibi.
Of course, you need the stub.
Because they weren't just going to see the movie. Come on.
You'll remember that you did that.
Then they both went home.
Oh.
And then around 4 p.m., because again, they needed that alibi, they went home. And then 4 p.m., they get back together. They get in the rent-a-car again. They put plastic sheet in the trunk.
Oh.
And they also put the shovel, the rifle, and a flashlight on the plastic sheet.
Okay.
Myra's wearing the disguise because we're being theatrical now.
Duh.
They drove to Ashton-under-Lyne, and within minutes, Ian was like, I see someone. Yeah. So he immediately was like, I see a boy alone, and I want him. And so they walked around, and they were acting like this, like, very normal couple.
Yeah.
Just, like, looking at things and holding hands.
Going to a fair.
You know, just looking around the market. The boy they chose was John Kilbride.
Mm-hmm.
John was 12 years old and lived in Ashton-under-Lyne. He was unbelievably adorable.
Oh.
Like, the picture of him just melts
Gonna
your
ruin
brain.
you.
He had huge eyes, this, like, gap in his front teeth. And it's like a face you just want to, like, protect. Like, you're like,
Yeah.
let me just help you. And he looked so innocent and childlike. He really did. His parents were Sheila and Patrick Kilbride. He had 6 younger siblings. He took care of his younger siblings very happily. He seemed to take pride in helping people, especially his own family.
Oh.
He was known as a super sweet kid. He was always singing to himself.
Oh.
He would often help his grandmother out around the house and in her yard because she was sick.
Just fuck me up, why don't you?
Now, he was very close with his younger brother, Danny, who was only younger by a year. So they were pretty close in age.
Yeah.
Danny later said he never stopped making sure, like, and he didn't, he never stopped making sure that Myra Hindley would stay locked up forever.
Good.
Because obviously Ian Brady wasn't going anywhere. Like, no one needed to fight to keep him
Yeah,
in
he
prison.
already had, like, so much
Myra was
against
the
him.
one a lot of people needed to fight to keep in prison because she was trying to get out.
That's so awful that you lose somebody and then on
then
top
you
of
just
that,
have to-
the rest of your days
Yeah.
you're making sure that this bitch stays where she is.
You have to relive it, and you just have to, like, constantly be fighting and seeing this piece of shit that took
Well,
your
you're
kid's
just in a
life.
constant state of remembering what happened.
And just shit. So John Kilbride attended Catholic school at St. Damian's Secondary School. He was very popular. He had a ton of friends. He loved, and in fact, he was very well loved in that school because when he went missing, they every day, like the head, like the principal or headmaster,
Sure.
I'm not really sure how it is in a Catholic school. I think it's a headmaster. They would come over the thing and say, let's all say a prayer for John Kilbride but while he was missing.
Yeah.
He loved soccer, or football, as it's known there, which honestly makes much more sense, by the way.
Glory,
UK.
Man United.
Like, we football makes sense. You
I
use your
got
feet.
so many messages that were like, yeah, Man United.
Yeah, and then you got some that were like, no.
I actually didn't get any.
I saw them. They were there.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
worry, I saved you from them.
It's all the people that like Arsenal.
Yeah. And he loved movies. He was always going to the movies. This is just, we gotta talk about,
Yeah, duh.
You gotta know who John was.
You need to humanize the victim.
Yeah, and it's like, he deserves to be known. So, in fact, he was at the movies with some friends before going to the market that day. And they had all, and it was actually him and like 2 or 3 friends who were also named John. So it was just like John. And I think John Mulaney has a skit about that, actually, that he had like 3 friends named John. So what they were going to do was they were going to go to the market, and they would do this a lot. They would go and offer the shopkeepers, like, well, we'll help out. And the shopkeepers would give them tips, or they give them food, or just like, it was just something to do.
Yeah.
Which, like, how wholesome.
It's also like the 60s. Like, what the fuck else are you going to do?
So wholesome. Like,
yeah.
So wholesome.
Helpful, cute, adorable.
When he went missing that day, he was wearing a white shirt. He was wearing black chisel-toed shoes. I'm not really sure what those are.
Let us
That's
know.
what they were described as. He was also wearing gray flannel pants. Under his shirt, he was wearing his father's old vest, which his mom had, like, sewed to fit him.
Why is this, like, everybody's wearing something of their parents?
I know. It's too much.
Yeah, that's heart-wrenching.
He was also wearing a jacket with football-shaped buttons, which is such a little kid thing.
That reminds me of, like, our little nugget.
I know. It's like just... Oh,
I'm talking about, like, our Alina's nephew and my cousin.
I know. I can't. It's like... It reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Now, Ian led Myra over to John, who was sitting eating a biscuit that was given to him for helping one of the shopkeepers.
Yeah.
He was alone. And she walked up to him and she said something about, like, oh, why are you out so late? Like, for such a young lad, like, kind of thing. Like, she was trying to be like,
twatty.
And they got his name. They got, like, where he was from. Like, they just chatted him up.
Right.
Like, gaining his trust. And then Ian said something about, we're parents ourselves. And I would be worried sick if my child was out alone at the, they're probably worried about you.
Home.
And it was 5:30 p.m. It wasn't like 10.
Jesus.
But they were like, you know what? We'll drive you home. And he was like, okay.
Because he cared
He's
about his
12.
parents.
And he was like, yeah, I don't want to make him wait. Yeah. So the way that they were able to get him to the moors without him being like, I don't live there.
Yeah.
Was on the way there, Ian was like, oh, we have a bottle of sherry at home. And he was like, and if you help us find this glove that is just so special to Myra on the moors, we'll give you this bottle of sherry to bring home to your parents as like a thank you.
Yeah.
And John was like, great. So he was
I'll help you, and then my parents will get something out of it.
Exactly. And he was like, we live by the moors, so this is perfect. Like, this is what Ian said. He was like, oh, we live by the moors, so we'll go find the glove, then I'll bring you to our house, get the sherry, and we'll drive you home.
Okay.
So
Thanks,
he's like,
Ian.
great. So, yeah. So when they get closer, Ian's like, all right, why don't we stop and find that glove?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, cool. So he did say, Ian Brady says that John was nervous, and he could tell he was starting to
that just
put
made
the
my
pieces
stomach
together.
flip.
And it's like, you just picture this child understanding all of a sudden, like, something bad is going to happen.
You just get
here.
a bad feeling.
And that, like, really, that, like, gets me to think about. And I'm sure Ian loved it.
I was going to say that
and he
just
loves
added
saying
to it all.
that. And that's the thing. He loves saying these things because he wants family to hear that and know it.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Now, Ian had the flashlight in his pocket, and he also had the knife, or he had the flashlight, and he also had the knife and the cord in his pocket.
Okay.
At Saddleworth Moor, they parked, and Ian was like, all right, come with me. We'll go find the glove. Myra says that the two of them left together into the moors. She did her part of the deal. She had lured him in, so she was done. That's what Myra says.
Now, what does Ian say?
Well, and she said she went to the entrance, she moved the rifle, she waited 30 minutes, drove back around where they dropped him off, flashed the headlights 3 times. She got 3 flashlights back.
Yeah.
So she was like,
good to go, bye.
Then Ian comes to the car, out of breath, and she said he's holding a small boy's shoe in his hand.
Yeah.
And he was like, she was like, why are you holding that shoe? And he was like, oh, after I buried him, I guess I forgot this. Like, he struggled, so it must have just fallen off. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just, what? So he told her, he had sexually assaulted John, and then he said, I tried to slice his throat, but the knife was too dull, so it wouldn't slice him properly.
Yeah.
So he said, thankfully, I had this cord in my pocket, and I strangled him with it.
Okay.
Now, Ian's version is different. He says the 3 of them went into the moors, and further says Myra is a liar because he said that whole thing about the rifle, which doesn't even make sense. He goes, we didn't purchase that rifle until a year later.
Oh, okay, great.
And then he was like, you can even look at the receipts, and they did, and it's true.
Right.
So he was like, I don't even know why she lied about that.
It's also just like a weird ass thing to lie
Yeah.
about that made no sense whatsoever.
He said again, John definitely knew what was up, and he said it was getting dark. No one was answering anything that he was asking. So he could tell, like, because he was like, why are we doing this? It's dark. We're not going to find this glove. Like, that kind of thing. So he said he had to give Myra the Groucho thing 3 different times before Myra got the message. Like, oh, that sucks. Like, he says it like, I had to give her it 3 times before we murdered this kid. It's like, God damn it,
I'm
dude.
so sorry that was hard for you.
I'm so sorry you were so inconvenienced by her hesitance.
Jesus.
It's like, Jesus. So he did that. She finally got the hint. And he says the 2 of them took John to the ground. He said he fought a ton.
Yeah.
Ian raped him and then strangled him while Myra held him down. Mm-hmm. So he's implicating Myra the entire time. Ian himself said after he killed John, he slapped John in the back after he put him in the grave and then looked up at the sky and said, take that, you bastard.
What? Like, what?
And then later he explained that because people are like, what does that mean? And he said, this was my gesture in the face of whatever malignant force it is which underlines the universe, devoted only to chaos. So this was him being like, take that, you bastard, whatever, like, God is up there.
Like, you don't even believe in God, according to you.
Well, that's why he said whatever malignant
Yeah.
force in the universe is doing that. And it's like, you're disgusting.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Like-
I also think he thought that was cool.
You 100% he
Right.
did.
He's
And that's
just
why
like-
he's disgusting. Because I'm like, first of all, do I believe he did it? Maybe. Because he's weird and theatrical.
Yes,
But
I
2,
agree.
I think he is so psyched to be able to tell that story. Like, he was like, and then I shook my fist at the sky and I said, take that, you bastard. Like, he's so happy to be able to tell
It's
that.
just stupid.
This
Well,
dude
and
is he's so lame.
going
he's
back
so
to like
lame.
Myra, like saying that she didn't do anything. I also think obviously I feel as though she had to be there because the fact that she has to hold them down makes sense because I feel like then Ian would have been covered in like scratches or like
Exactly.
stuff like that.
Exactly.
For the people that fought.
There's no way he would have gotten out of that without getting, because he says, he readily admits they all fought back.
Yeah.
Like, Pauline gave him a lot of
Well, and
trouble.
typically rape victims do fight back, obviously.
And it's like, because it's just human nature. You're going to try to get out from under the person who's trying to hold you down,
and
especially.
it's like, I just think she just had to be there.
She had to be there. She did. And this whole, like, Groucho thing that he keeps saying, it makes sense.
Yeah,
They had
everything
a code.
that he's saying makes sense.
Yeah, she's just trying to she wanted to get parole. That's
Yeah.
all this is.
Yeah.
Her whole thing was trying to get out of prison. That's all she wanted
And
to
I
do.
think she would have done horrific things had she gotten out of prison.
Oh, yeah, she would have. She
Like,
definitely would have.
She wouldn't have just found that cop and had kids. She would have done horrific
Yeah,
shit.
she would have done terrible shit. Now, they drove back to Gordon, and they went to Myra's house, and they did the same, like, forensic cleanup that they did the first time.
Yeah.
John's family at this point is panicked.
Yeah.
Because he's never late. And you just think of them panicking at this point, and what they don't know is that he's already gone and buried in the moors.
That's
like
horrific.
his younger brother Danny, the one that he was so close to, that was like a year
That
apart.
fought forever.
He went door to door and was asking people where he was. Sheila, his mother, got upset around like 9 p.m. and she was like, "We gotta call the police. Like
Yeah.
this, I can't wait any longer."
He's 12.
They were a massive search started, like massive. They asked all the shopkeepers at the market if they had seen him. Like they got over 700 statements from that.
Wow.
There were missing posters everywhere. The parents went everywhere searching. The same thing as Pauline's parents. They went everywhere. They were asking everyone about him. Monday morning, the Manchester Evening News posted the first big article about it. Myra and Ian were absolutely psyched about this because everyone in their office was talking about it on Monday morning. Like, all their coworkers were like, holy shit, do you see this?
And they were like, we did actually.
Yeah, and they're feeling great about it. And Ian later said the audience is the value and quality of the act.
It makes sense, unfortunately.
Which it's like, oh, so you're BTK.
Yeah.
Like, you loved the, like, audience whole thing. And if nobody was talking about it, he would have shit his pants about it.
And, like, written into newspapers.
Like, he would have whined and cried about
disk?
it. Yeah, exactly.
Also,
Now,
I love water.
Also, water TM. Wednesday,
Yeah.
they returned to John and Pauline's burial sites on the moors because they called it, like, reconnaissance, which was just them going back to the burial sites and making sure that they weren't, like, disturbed.
Okay.
And it was just them wanting to keep reliving it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all
for
it was.
them.
But they made it some, like, they nerd out, and they're like, it's a reconnaissance, my son. And it's like, no, you're just going back to the place you murder people.
You're just reliving.
That's just serial killer shit. Like, just call it what it is. So then the search for John is widening to, I mean, hundreds of volunteers. And his mother, this is going to hurt your heart.
Great.
His mother continued to make dinner for him every night and set up a spot for him.
Just in case he came home.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Doesn't that just kill you?
Yes.
So soon the news reported that the search was getting closer to the moors.
Yeah.
And Myra starts getting nervous because
Yeah.
she was like, shit. And Ian's under the impression, because of course he's smarter than everybody. I don't know if you know this.
Obviously.
But he's smarter than everybody. And he was like, they're just working off of, like, they're just guessing. And the moors are just there. So they're just guessing.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, okay, keep thinking that. So Sunday, December 1st, 2,000 volunteers were out searching.
Whoa.
And a local businessman offered £100 reward for any information on finding him. And it was later reported that 2,000 volunteer search. They said it was the biggest search for any missing person before this.
Oh my God.
So John was very missed.
Yes, obviously.
They brought in a psychic at one point because, I mean, it happens.
Like
You
they
gotta
do.
get into it, yeah. And the psychic was used basically out of, desperation. And they said the psychic said they saw John, quote, some way down a slope with the skyline completely barren and not a tree in sight. A main road on the right and quite near a stream. This is remarkably
I was going to
close.
say that's not wrong.
No. And it's like, and I think they even brought this to Ian later. Like, I think that Dr. Alan Keatley did. And he was like, what do you make of that? That, like, they were kind of on the nose.
Did he
And
believe
was
in
like,
psychics?
He was like, that's weird. They're on the nose, but I think it's just them, like, just they can draw anything out of anything.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't believe it. I don't know what I believe, but that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I will give it. But meanwhile, Ian and Myra are now visiting the moors very often just to check, make sure nothing's disturbed, and just take it in. They spend lots of time there. They're often also sat on a street near John's home and watched the family home together.
Cute.
And they just said that they imagined what chaos the family was living through hour by hour, not knowing where he was.
They are monsters.
There's no words for what
They go so beyond. They even go beyond Paul and fucking Carla.
Because they get so much enjoyment out of the chaos that they cause in these people's lives, like by taking their
They
children
follow
away.
up on it.
Yeah, and they marinate in it.
Yeah,
They really
do.
do.
They bask in it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And John's brother Terry said, quote, my mother always used to be singing when she was cooking or ironing, but that just stopped. Everything stopped.
That's awful.
So sad. So New Year's of that year, 1963, they went to the moors, they raised a glass of whiskey, and they yelled, to John.
Ew.
That, I can't stress enough how fucking evil these two are.
Right.
And they admit that readily. Like,
That's
yep, that's what we did.
So ew.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Now, it was in February of the next year, I believe, February or March. That's when they did the first of the pictures on the burial sites that they took.
Okay.
They had a dog named Puppet,
Yeah.
you mentioned in the first episode. And they were like, you know what? Let's go to the moors. And we're going to take pictures on the burial sites so we can remember them.
Yeah.
And what Myra said that was Ian liked putting these pictures into regular photo albums with the, like, just regular photos.
I believe that.
And he said then family and friends would be flipping through it and they'd have no idea what they were looking at. And it like gave him some kind of jolt. I 100% believe that.
That's like textbook Ian.
Yes, that's so Ian.
Yeah.
So Ian. So they got a new car eventually. I think it was like a 2-door station wagon. And in May 15th, 1964 was John's birthday, his 13th birthday.
Yeah.
His mother bought him presents, bought a card. And in the card, I don't have the exact thing she wrote, but she basically wrote, if you are home on this day, like, I love you and I missed you, basically.
Oh my God.
But bought him presents, wrapped them all,
Just
like,
in
waited
case
for
he
him.
came back.
Yeah. Like, it kills my heart. The things they did to these families.
And it was probably
just kills me.
almost like a thing for her where like she
Like a
needed to go
cathartic.
out and do that
Yeah.
and like almost pretend like he's still there and he's gonna open these presents and this is what we do on his birthday.
Because that's what you do on that day.
Right.
So it's like, we are just
We
going
need
to
to
do
keep
what we
doing
do.
it.
Yeah. Like, we're not, if we don't, and part of her probably thought, if I don't get these presents,
It's accepting that
maybe,
he's gone.
yeah, maybe he won't come home. But
Right.
if I buy them, maybe he'll come home.
Right.
You know? Oh, it just kills me.
And it's like a mother's brain works so differently.
It really does. It's just like, ugh. So June 16th, 1964, Hindley went to get Ian. I know I keep forgetting, like, if I'm calling them Hindley or Myra or Ian or
it doesn't
Brady.
matter. We all know.
I feel bad though. I'm like probably skipping around, but I write it differently every time.
It's okay.
So Myra, I'm just going to stick with Myra, went to get Ian in the new station wagon. She was dressed in the disguise she wears.
Yeah.
She picked him up at 7:30 p.m. and they almost immediately saw a group of children.
Oh, good.
Now, before this car ride, they had decided they were excited. They wanted to do it again.
Oh.
And this was not that long after John.
Right. So their cooling off period is starting to get
exactly
smaller
getting smaller and smaller. And one boy was alone, and Ian was like, that's our next victim. Mm-hmm. That boy was Keith Bennett.
Okay.
Now, before they did this, Ian made sure to give Myra another gift, another anniversary gift, a record. And it was Roy Orbison's It's Over record.
Oh.
And again, they would hum it to each other when they wanted to remember this. Because remember, they are evil as fuck. Now, Keith really, this one like hurts me because you'll find out. So Keith was barely 12 years old. He had like just turned 12 years
I was
old.
like 11, but you're like, no,
But
he's 12.
basically, he was just 11 like a few days earlier. Keith was wearing a t-shirt. He was wearing black shoes, a white leather zip-up jacket over blue jeans when he was gone.
So cute.
He was stupid precious.
Oh.
I mean, the photo of him, you're just like, oh, like this just snuggle little chipmunk of a baby.
Oh, I feel like I don't even want to see them because it's going to ruin me further.
Yeah. He was small for his age. He had glasses. He had like a big smile. Like, oh, his stepsister Susan was his best friend. His younger sister, who was 3 years old, was obsessed with him. Followed him everywhere.
Stop. That's when it gets too real.
It does. He was one of 6 kids. He lived with his mother, Winnie, and his stepfather, Jimmy. Okay. He had a very good relationship with his stepfather. Mm-hmm. Very good relationship with his step-siblings. He loved playing football. He loved nature. He would like bring back like little bugs and stuff to show his parents. He loved collecting coins, and he was just an adorable little muffin. The night he was abducted, his mother was going to be going to bingo, and his mother was 7 months pregnant, by the way.
God.
And went into premature labor after he went missing.
Obviously.
The baby ended up being okay, but like that was from stress.
Because I was going to say your body was so stressed out.
Yeah.
And mine.
So that night, his mother was going to be going to bingo. And so she was going to bring the kids to the grandparents' house, the grandmother's house.
Yeah.
For the night. And she did this like every now and then.
Yeah.
And then the grandmother would walk them all home the next day. It was just the thing they did.
That's cute.
So on the way to dropping him off, on the way, like all the kids are going with the mom, and Keith sees some friends from school, and he's like, I want to go play with them. And she's like, cool, you can go play with them.
It's the 60s. Go right
Exactly.
ahead.
You can just walk, because the grandmother didn't live far away at all. So she was like,
"Head
just
back
make
there."
sure you head back there. So he was like, cool. So the last she saw of him, he had run across the street, turned around, and waved to her. Oh my God. And that's the last thing she saw.
That's fucked up.
Now, in Myra's version of events, Myra pulled up next to Keith and asked him if he wanted to help her and Ian load some boxes into her car. She said Keith hesitated, but then got into the passenger seat because Ian was in the back. Mm-hmm. So she starts driving, and then Ian made Myra stop and ask Keith to come in the back seat with him. Mm-hmm. So he gets in the back seat, and that's when Ian's like, listen, Myra lost a glove, and goes through that whole spiel. And he's like, she's so sad about it. And like, you seem like a really good kid. Like, do you want to help me find it?
Jesus Christ.
And he was like,
evil son of a
yeah.
bitch. I know I've heard this story 3 times
He
now at
is,
this
though.
point, but like,
He
fuck.
is, though.
Ugh.
He said, sure. They went to the moors where he got out with Keith on the pretense of looking for the glove. Now, in Ian's version, he was waiting on a totally different street, and Myra did the scooping and then picked him up.
He wasn't even in the car.
Yeah, he was like, I was not in the back seat. Like, it was just Myra picking him up.
You would also think that Keith would think that was weird.
Exactly.
and not
Like,
get
why
in the
is he
car.
in the back
Doesn't
seat?
make any sense.
And like, why do you need me to help you?
Because
load
when
the
you said that, I
boxes?
was like, what?
Exactly. So he's like, no, I was on a different street. Myra lured him in, got him in the car, came to the street, and picked me up.
Myra sounds like a dumbass.
She really is.
I'm like, do
She
you think
really
that
is.
any of what you're saying makes any sense?
No. I think she does. She's like, absolutely. Everybody should believe me.
Okay.
Well, in Myra's version, what happened next was Myra followed them. She sat down, like, into the moors.
Yeah.
She sat down somewhere after Ian told her to stop and waited for about 40 minutes. She said she didn't hear or see anything.
Of course
And
not.
When Ian came back after 40 minutes, he was dirty, out of breath. And he was like, I strangled Keith with the cord or the rope. And, I raped him as well. Mm-hmm. And he said that this time, though, he was like, I took a picture of him after I murdered him, before I buried him.
Yeah.
And she was like, neat. So in Ian's version, they all went together 3 miles into the moor,
Yeah.
away from the car, away from the road. And that he said, again, Keith was very nervous. And Keith was nervous that his grandmother would be concerned about him not getting there until late.
Oh my God.
And he said, Myra kept telling him, you'll be home soon. Don't worry.
That's so fucked.
Myra was holding the shovel and the rifle, and I believe they said it was covered in like plastic, so you couldn't tell what it was. And Ian said the sign was for him. No, this is fucked up. Ian says the sign to like, we're going to take him down,
The Groucho
was
or
that
whatever.
he would start whistling when you wish upon a star.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope. And that was when they were supposed to attack him. And basically the same thing happened to Keith that happened to John initially. Brady grabbed him by the throat. Myra held him down. He was sexually assaulted and strangled, but he was strangled by Ian's bare hands, according to Ian.
Wow.
And he said while I was strangling him, Myra was holding him down.
Yeah. Obviously, because she would need to.
You do.
She was there.
You would definitely need to. They buried him together, according to him, and Ian said he put a large boulder where his grave was.
So to come back to it.
Yeah. Now, the thing I said earlier about how this one really gets to me is because Keith is the only one who has never been found.
Never?
He is still not found to this day. And we will get into it in part 3, how fucked up Ian Brady is.
Because he
Because
won't say.
he refused. I mean, Myra did too. But Ian really refused till the last second. Like, the last second, he was like, you're never going to find out.
Myra wasn't there.
No, she wasn't there, so she wouldn't know. Now, he hasn't been found. And Ian said that he was surprised that police metal detectors haven't located him yet, because he said that metal zipper on his jacket.
But it might have just been
No.
carried away by animals. I don't know.
No, he was buried.
I don't know.
He's buried feet under the ground. Like, he's in there somewhere. He can be found.
Why can't they just dig up the whole moors until they find
The
him?
moors are unbelievably gigantic.
Really?
But this is why they chose them. It would, honestly, I don't think you could ever look
Finish doing
everywhere.
it.
You could lose someone in a minute there.
That's awful.
And he knows that. And for him to say, I'm surprised the police haven't, used metal detectors and found that zipper. It's like, that's just another, like, fuck you to his family. Like,
Right.
it just, I'm like, you're so gross. Now, his mother, Keith's mother, Winnie, died in 2012 at 78 years old.
Oh my God, she went like her whole life wondering.
Never knowing where he was. And she knew he was in the moors, but she was like,
nowhere.
And she was buried with Keith's glasses, which he had broken earlier that week. And she had intended to fix them the day he went missing. So she was buried with the broken glasses.
That just made me get that lump in my throat.
Before she passed away, she said, I need my Keith to be returned from those bleak, cold, and windy moors that look down on me from almost everywhere I turn in my hometown of Manchester. My heart is torn from me. Whew. And it just like...
I just got like a...
that brought a big gulp to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really sad. And it sucks.
Because that's your baby.
That's your baby.
And like,
it's like,
you're, like she said, like cold,
and
like
she knows that he's alone out there.
And just you picture her
Yeah.
like going anywhere, and she's like,
They're
the
just
moors
there.
are just right there.
They're just there. I can't imagine. I really can't. So, like I had said earlier, they bought new shovels each time that they did this, and they would bury the shovels out on the moors.
Yeah.
They did the same after murder checklist, get rid of everything, clean everything. They went through the same thing. Ian also created this time a dark room in Myra's home.
Oh, for the photographs?
Because he was like, now I want to take pictures. So this is when he would start developing photos like the ones he took of Keith. But he said he destroyed that photo and it has never been found.
Oh.
Because he said that it was blurry. But he showed it to Myra first.
Okay.
And Myra said she never saw it.
Sure, of course, no.
Now, he went to the suitcases he had at the railway station to add things to them, and Myra said she has no idea what he added. Keith's grandmother didn't have a phone, so she assumed when he didn't come that he was staying with his mom or at a friend's house. She just was like, oh, and she had no way of calling the mom to be like, was he supposed to be here?
Right.
And so she just walked the rest of the kids home the next morning. And his parents were like, where's Keith? And she explained. She was like, oh, he never came. Like,
Yeah.
I thought he just wasn't coming. No one else had seen him, so they contacted the police, and his siblings apparently were like a fucking mess. They said his sisters cried themselves to sleep every night, like wondering where he was. Like, the far reachings of this, the chaos and just calamity that this caused is so unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like unquantifiable.
That's just so sad.
His
You just
poor
ruined
grandmother
so many lives.
felt so guilty.
Right, exactly.
And she herself, his elderly sick grandmother, would go to different towns. She would bang on doors. She would search. Like, she took it upon herself to do it as well.
You know what I just thought of? I feel like him making that comment about the zipper, I almost wonder if they took off the zipper or something
I wonder
like
that too.
And they
if it's
put it
in that
with
luggage.
the luggage.
And they're just being like, I wonder why they didn't find that.
Right, because
Weird.
the police, they knew the police would probably do that. And the police probably did do that.
And it feels like Ian Brady would think they could find this with the
Exactly.
zipper. So he was probably like, oh, that's funny.
I bet they took the jacket.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I guarantee you that's it.
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy, the stepfather, and like John Kilbride's father, Patrick, both of them were questioned immediately. And rumors were flying that the both of them were involved in their kids' disappearance.
Well, and especially this guy because he's the stepdad.
Exactly. And they were like being super cooperative, and they were like, I just want to find him. But it was starting to like wear on them. Like, they were like, I'm being accused of killing or like doing something terrible to my child. So it was just breaking these families apart. And the search began. The media went bonkers again. People were going door to door. Police are going door to door. There's bloodhounds being released everywhere. They're dragging bodies of water. They're looking in places he, wanted to hang out, like railroads and stuff, because he liked trains and he would plan train tracks. Soon, the parents of Pauline, Joan and Amos, and John and Keith's parents, they all realized there's got to be a connection.
A serial killer.
And especially between John and Keith's disappearance. I don't think Pauline's was quite immediate that they were thinking a connection, but they were like, John and Keith's have to be definitely related. Connected.
And they're so close in time period.
Exactly. So the mothers, Winnie and Sheila, they met to discuss this, and the media actually took pictures of it. And we're like, two grieving mothers get together.
Really sweet of them.
It's like, cool. They ended up meeting a couple of times after that, like started like keeping up with each other. And then Joan, Pauline's mother, joined as well. And they bonded together over this. Now, one day, a woman randomly walked up to Winnie on the street and said, "You're Keith's mom, right?" And then told her he's been chopped up and fed to pigs.
I literally hope that woman got chopped up and
she was like traumatized. Like when he was like, I felt like I was literally getting hit from all angles.
Why would you ever do that to somebody?
Like, what another piece of shit just walking around.
I hope you get hit by a car.
And she said this is when she like started to lose hope. Like, she was like, I'm really starting to think that like he's just not coming home.
And I'm sure she like obviously did have people walking up to her saying shit like that, but you hear town rumblings, you're like, and time starts to go by, he's
exactly. Now, Myra later said of these three children, John, Pauline, and Keith, that she's such a piece of shit. She later said that she likened them to lambs walking to the slaughter.
Of course she did.
That's what she said about these three little babies. She said she would watch them walk behind Ian, and she would say they're like little lambs walking to the slaughter.
That's exactly
because she also said
thought.
They all walked, and she made sure to say this like this. She was like, they all walked to their own deaths. They weren't dragged.
Well, no, you kidnapped
and it's like,
them.
They're children, and you preyed on their fucking trusting nature.
Right.
You absolute piece of garbage.
They didn't walk into their own death. You took them there.
Like, you... It's just her
being a cunt.
That's so like just they did it themselves.
Yeah.
Again, just I'm not going to take responsibility. They came.
Right.
And it's like, fuck off. So 2 months after they murdered Keith, Saturday, August 15th, 1964, Myra's little sister Maureen married her boyfriend, David Smith, who was 17 years old.
She did.
David Smith would not too long after this became the man who single-handedly stopped the Moores murderers.
Oh, shit.
But not before they claimed 2 more innocent lives in the process.
But her sister's husband is the one that stops them.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about that in part 3.
You asshole.
Because honestly,
I'm like tapping out.
The last 2 are doozies, and we've already had 3 doozies. I think we all need to take a little breather.
This whole damn thing is a doozy.
It's a lot for everybody to process. It's a lot for me to talk about. So we're going to break it right here. And I think we're pretty good. We're like almost 2 hours. So I'd say this is a pretty good length. And part 3 is going to be coming out on Saturday. So in 2 days.
Yay.
So just look out for that. It will be on Saturday.
And all of our episodes, most of the time, like literally all of the time, come out at the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the
Saturday.
day, Wednesday and Saturday. If it's going to be late a day, which we hope won't happen often, we will let you know.
Yeah, we always do.
But this one won't be late. Don't worry, it's coming on Saturday. But in that one, we're going to talk about the final 2 murders, which are real bad. We're going to talk about David Smith and how he factors into this.
I'm excited to hear about that.
It's very interesting how they were arrested, the trial, how they fucked each other over after the trial, and all the way up until, they both died. So,
all right.
Strap in, guys. Hope you handled that. I was going to say enjoyed that, but I hope you handled that.
Yeah, I hope you handled that. While you're on Instagram decompressing, shoot us a follow.
Yeah, I'm at Morbid Podcast.
You just burped a little. I hope you didn't hear that.
That's fine.
You can also follow us on Twitter.
At A Morbid Podcast.
And you can send us a Gmail, listener tales, case suggestions, all of the above can be sent there.
Morbidpodcast@gmail.com.
We hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it weird.
But not so weird that you Myra Hindley and like Anne Brady it and sing horrible songs to each other.
You guys are the fucking worst.
Yeah, there's only so much you can say.
Yeah, no, you guys, they suck and they're getting flogged in hell by millipedes.
Correct. Bye.